It is 6:59, so I'm a little bit early. I'll just hang out and wait a minute, finish getting my lighting set up. Right. We will get started here in just a minute. I'm also setting up on my computer so that I can see your questions when you ask them. Alright, we're going to play with this. I have never actually seen... Oh my goodness, it's sideways. No wonder my lives look funny. Alright, here we go. Turning my camera. Oh goodness, dropping my camera. Hey Rachel. I'd say, hey, I'm glad you're the only one that saw my blunder there. But, you know, this is going to get published to YouTube later, so, you know, good times. Alright. See, and I just saw you seeing me because I've got it on my phone. Good times. Alright. So, now that I have dropped my phone and made life a little more exciting, I'm ready to get going. So, alright, so tonight we are playing with the Cute Fruit stamp set from this cute little brochure. We call it the beginner brochure because it's full of all sorts of simple ideas for those who are overwhelmed by the giant catalog, which it can be overwhelming sometimes. I know I get excited for it, but I'm crazy, but in a good way. So let's look at what comes with the Cute Fruit. So this is on page, I think, 7? Page 7. So if you decide to order everything that comes with the Cute Fruit, you get a package of Whisper White cardstock. There's 40 sheets. You also get the Cute Fruit stamp set. You get the Stampin' Spot assortment. It has 8 different mini ink pads in there. I'm going to leave mine sealed tonight and just use the big ones, so don't freak out when you see me using like a big pad, like, mine doesn't look like that. It's cool. And then you get Clear Block D. I love Clear Block D. I love it all. I love it. I use it all the time. Man, you drop your phone and then all of a sudden everything just goes crazy. So, alright. In addition to those 4 items that come when you order all of it from the catalog, you're going to need a couple of things. You're going to need a ruler. Mine is clear, so you won't see it super great. A pencil. I'm going to be using a bone folder. If you don't have one, that's fine. I can show you a trick with the Stampin' Block. You need either a black Sharpie or a black Stampin' Right marker. I'm going to stay true to Stampin' Up tonight and stick with my Stampin' Right. And then you're going to need a pair of scissors. So if you're stamping along, make sure you have those. Oh, I forgot. You also need something to clean your stamps. I have my super scary and well-loved chamois. The ink is just kind of there. You can see some skeletons from Halloween and a cow, so that's kind of fun. It stains, but it still cleans my stamps beautifully. Both sides are well-loved. So I'm going to set that out of the way because I don't want it on my paper because it's wet, and yeah, paper and water, they are not good friends. Alright, so we're going to start with some cards tonight. So if you have not cut your paper down yet, let me clear this out of the way. You are going to want to cut your cardstock. So to get a card base, what you need is a sheet of cardstock. And then I like to use my trimmer. And I always keep my trimmer set down beneath where I'm sitting. So, alright, so it doesn't completely fit on here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide my paper into my trimmer. I'm going to line up the short edge at 4 1/4 inches, and I'm going to take my scoring blade and I'm going to just run that up my paper. What that does is it creates a fold line for me. Then I'm going to turn my paper, and on the long end I'm going to measure at 5 1/2 inches, and I'm going to use my cutting blade and I'm going to slice that piece of paper in half. Hey Jared! I just looked up at my computer and saw that you're here. So, alright, I'm going to move my trimmer out of the way. So now that I've done that, I have 2 pieces of paper that are ready to be folded into card bases. So to do that, you can just fold on the line. If you don't have a trimmer, that's okay. You can just cut your piece of paper in half and then you can just fold it. So I like my bone folder, so I start in the middle and it just helps me get a nice good solid crease. You can also use your finger, but your finger will get tired if you're doing a lot of cards. Another trick is to use your block. So just fold that paper in half. You can take your block and set it down and just slide it up and down, and it gives you a pretty good crease. It's not fantastic, but it's good enough. So it'll do the job. So finger, bone folder, block, anything will do. Alright, I cut most of my card bases before we started, but I did want to show you that. So we're going to start with this card. I think it's the simplest one. I am casing or copying as shown. Man, I can't remember what it stands for. I'm copying what's in the catalog. So if you forget what it looks like, you can look on page 6 and there's examples of these cards. So we'll do 1 or 2 things maybe that don't match the catalog exactly, but this will give you a good start. So I'm pulling my stamps out of the case and I'm just going to set them off to the side because I don't want them in the way. But I'm going to pull my banana off. So these are fantastic. So they're sticky on both sides, but it sticks to your block, and then when you're done using it, you can just peel it off of your block. It's awesome. It takes up less storage space because your case is, it's like storing a DVD. So I have a DVD shelf that is full of stamps. We're going to be going through those this week while I'm on vacation, and we're going to do some purging. Alright, I feel like it's dark. Does anybody else feel like it's dark? Let me see if I can get a light set up. I have this handy dandy ring light that likes to fall over and is the bane of my existence. So we're going to set that up and see if it helps at all. While I'm doing that, does anybody have any questions? Alright, I think that helped. I can see my desk better. So let me slide those out of the way. So I am using Daffodil Delight. Wow, words are hard again today. I've had a long week. So what we need to do to make this card, I'm going to slide this out of the way so that we can stamp, and I have enough space to do that. So the colors we're going to use on this are Daffodil Delight and Basic Gray. They are perfectly enough the top 2 ink pads in your kit. So I have my Daffodil Delight open. I'm going to slide that card out of the way. And then the first thing I do, I'm going to make sure that I've got it so that it opens the right direction. I have stamped so many cards and I get finished because I'm not paying attention, and then I'm like, oh, that's so, oh darn it. So make sure it opens the right way. so that you're not a goof like me, and then we get to stamp. So, alright, so the trick when you are inking up your stamp is you want to tap, tap, tap like you're kissing your grandma, and then when you bring your inked up stamp to the paper, you press down hard, give it a good smooch like you're kissing your sweetheart. I learned that at a training last year, and it is fabulous. I've had a lot of people that I've seen where they like take their stamp and they smush it down into their ink pad, and then they get ink all over their block and on places on the stamp they don't want it, and then when they stamp on their project they get these weird smudges. So we want to tap, 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 tap. I didn't hold my ink pad. And then we're going to stamp here, and we're going to press hard and release, and we get a good clean image. So we want to do that so we've got about 3 bananas going across, and these are just the cutest bananas. This is actually, I think it was the bananas that made me want to get this stamp set. I saw it and I was like, I have to have that. So as we go through, I want to hear what your favorite fruits are, whether it's from the stamp set or not. Alright, so I've got 3 bananas going across. Now I'm going to flip my stamp over and just kind of balance it so that it's in between these 2 here, and that gives me a good placement for my next row, because we're going to do, it turns out to be about 4 rows if you place your stamps about 2/3-ish of the way down. So stamp, tap, tap, tap. I'm going to come over here and get this end over here. If you don't have a piece of paper underneath where you're stamping, you will want one, so that when we stamp off the edge of your card, you don't stamp your table, because if you really like your table, you'll be sad. Or you'll hate me. You'll be like, she didn't tell me. So that is your public service announcement. Alright, so we're going to just stamp our next banana, and we're just going to keep going. We're going to flip our stamp back around, and we're going to stamp the next line. Move that down just a smidge, and we're going to stamp it. So this is just a nice repetitive image, and if you don't get it exactly straight, that's okay. Like, it's a handmade card. People are going to go, oh my heavens, you gave me a card covered in bananas. They're going to love it. They're not going to be like, those aren't straight, unless your friend is a jerk, which I hope not. Alright, so I'm going to get just this edge here, just get a little bit, and I totally just stuck my finger in my ink pad. Alright, so I have, I'm going to clean that off. Alright, so I have all of my bananas. Now you're going to want to get this really funky little bit and pull that up. And I'm going to use just a smaller block. If you don't have a smaller block, you don't worry about it. You can put it on the big block and it still works. But I'm not going to take my stamps off just to save some time. So we're going to ink this up, and then we're just going to stamp it to make our little, that little top of the banana. So we're going to come in. I'm trying not to get my head in the picture so you can't see, but I still need to be able to see where I'm stamping. Oh! I got lucky. It is like Stephanie's gonna drop stuff night. So we'll see how everything goes. While I'm turned this way, I'm gonna get the bananas that are up here. Hey Ashley, I'm so focused on my bananas that I'm not paying attention to questions. I'd say yell at me, but that's not gonna work. Normally I have my daughter sitting and helping me with questions and stuff, but she had some practice tonight. So I'm going to move that to there for right now. Now, I want my bananas to be happy bananas. They're not just going to be your plain old everyday bananas. So we're going to pull out the basic gray. We're going to open this up, or just, take the lid off of your little ink spot. And then we're going to get a smiley face. Choose a smiley face that makes you the happiest. If you want the smiley that has the mustaches or the squinty eyes, use that. I'm going to just use just a regular one. I'm going to use the other ones later. So I'm going to ink up my smiley face, and then all of my bananas that are facing this way like a smile, I'm going to stamp a face on. So we're just going to stamp a face, stamp a face. So you'll end up with 6 faces. Alright, so I have 6 very happy bananas. And then I want to stamp just something on here. Since they're happy bananas, we're going to stamp the word smile. So pull off your smile stamp. Just going to pull my face off. That sounded terrible. Oh my goodness. I'm going to pull the smiley face off of that stamp. I'm going to ink up smile, and we're just going to stamp that down here in the corner. And we have us a super cute card. Now, what could you use this for? If you have a friend who is having a rough day, you can drop this off. Drop it off with a bunch of bananas, a pint of ice cream. Just pop it in the mail if they live far away. Just the card itself will make them say, hey, somebody cares. I've been sending cards out a lot during this coronavirus thing, and I have gotten so many notes with people tracking me down going, I wanted to say thank you for the card. And that right there, I'm just like, oh, they liked it. Alright, so that is card number 1. I'm going to watch the time. We'll do cards for about half an hour, and then I'll do some tags. Alright, so our next card, we're going to get a little crazy. Not too crazy, but just a little bit. So we're going to use Granny Apple Green, and we're also going to use the Gray Granite again. So let me switch out my ink pads real quick. Get that opened up. Hey Trisha, thanks for joining. We were chatting right before I started. I'm like, hey, I'm going live soon. And she's like, good luck. She's awesome. She's one of my friends out in Utah. We met through Stampin' Up. That's one of my favorite things about Stampin' Up. Alright, I'm going to put my melon stamp on my block. I don't want you to freak out. I was making example cards, and I used my real red, and the reds tend to dye your photopolymer stamps. So it is pink for forever. It is clean. It's okay. I'm gonna get a drink real quick. I'm so glad you came to check it out, Trisha. Alright, so I'm gonna grab another clean card base. We're gonna do a technique called stamping off, because you'll notice there's the same shade of green between like the meat of your melon, I guess it's called flesh, the flesh and the rind. So what we'll do is we're going to stamp the melon, and then we're going to stamp on the paper, and then we're going to stamp on the card. Then we're going to just stamp the rind right on the card. So I'm going to stamp my melon flesh first. So if you have a Stamparatus, which if you're just starting out, you might not have all of the fun tools and gadgets. This works great. You can line it up and then just boom, boom, boom. But we're not going to pull that out. We're just going to use what we've got. So for the stamping off technique, what you do, you ink up your stamp, and then you stamp on your paper off to the side, not on your project, and then you stamp on your project. So it gives you just a little bit lighter shade than what you stamped over here. Can you even see right there? So we'll do that. I want to put five of these on my card. I'm just going to try to evenly space them. Again, it's a handmade card. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you know, I strive for perfection. Alright. Oh, that did not stamp very clean. Let's see if I can line it back up. Oh, I got lucky and got it right back in the same spot. That doesn't ever happen. That was history right there. Alright, so I've got 5 not evenly spaced melons on the side of my card. I'm going to clean that off, and then I want to use this block again. So now I want my rind. I'm going to line this up on my card, just around one of those before I ink it up, and then I'm going to pick it up with my stamp. That helps me know, because this is just a thin line, it could stretch out into a straight line and not fit. So I wanted to make sure it was going to fit on my card. Alright, since I'm doing this kind of blind, I'm going to turn my card a little bit so that I can get a good view. And I'm just going to stamp all the way down. Just line that up. The clear blocks make it easier. It's not going to be exact, but it'll be close. Yeah, this stamp set does make me hungry. I just looked up and saw your comment, Trisha. And I love fruit. Every once in a while on Saturdays, we'll do fruit salad with our breakfast, and that just makes me very happy. But we usually do like strawberries, and there aren't any strawberries in here. Alright, so you'll notice I have a little bit lighter green with the darker green, and it looks awesome. So we've got that honeydew going on. I'm going to clean that off and just set it here. So actually I want to use that block again. So we're going to use this wishing you a slice of happiness. We're going to stick that sentiment on the card. So we call it a sentiment, not a saying. I haven't figured out why, but that's alright. I love the phrase. So we're going to ink that up in the gray granite. It's gray granite, right? Basic gray. Gray granite is another color, but I love that one too. So line this up whichever of your watermelons you like. I like it on this 4th one. You could put it more in the middle. I'm going to put it here. And ta-da! You have another card. And that was a little more tricky, but it was pretty painless, pretty simple. Awesome. Okay, so I've cleaned that off. Alright, for the next card, we are going to do another watermelon. And we're going to use that stamping off technique again. So for this one, I'm going to use Shaded Spruce and Real Red. So I'm going to hurry and transition and close up my ink pads. So I've got this set up. You can see all my setup. Normally I have my camera turned the other way, and I was wondering why all of my videos were sideways. Yeah, we're going to improve our videography skills, I think. Hashtag life goals. So I'm pulling out my Shaded Spruce here, my Real Red. I was talking to somebody the other day. I talked to so many people. I require people. I'm an extrovert. The rest of my household is introverts. And so this has been hard. So I have to talk to people in order to survive. But I was telling them, I'm like, yeah, these lives are getting more fun. Like at first I was struggling with just saying what day it was. After all of my live at lunches on Tuesdays my husband asks me if I said the right date. Sometimes the answer is no. Alright, so on this one, we are going to ink up in red. And you are just going to stamp wherever in the world you want to on your card. And so I'm going to put one watermelon here because it looks cute there. And then, before I go and ink up again, I'm going to stamp another one. So we're going to have like two-toned melons on here. Hey Melanie, thanks for joining. Alright. Alright, so we'll stamp here. And then because I stamped there, I've got some weird funkiness going on. So I'm going to re-ink and stamp off on my paper. I didn't do that here, and when I was making my samples, I was trying to figure out why in the world my watermelon looked so weird. And then I realized, oh hey, it's because I didn't stamp all of it off. So, alright. So this one will stamp down here in the corner. And again, see, you've got that darker spot and then it's lighter where you stamped. And if you were to just go and stamp here, you're going to end up with a two-toned stamp like you have here on this watermelon. And yeah, we don't want to do that. So we're just going to re-ink, and we will stamp off and then stamp in another spot. Ooh, I've got a weird spot on there. Alright, and then I want to do one more watermelon up here at the top because it's got that weird blank spot. So we'll just stamp here and call it good. So we have a whole bunch of watermelon. I'm going to clean that off. The reds always tend to be a little bit messier. Alright, then we're going to get our watermelon rind out again. Line that up with one of the watermelons, and we're going to do the same thing with this one that we were doing with our red. We're going to ink it up and stamp, and then we're going to stamp on one of our lighter colored ones. So I'm going to ink up. I'm just going to move my way up the card. I'm going to turn my card base. I like to turn my card base rather than turn my whole stamp because I feel like I have more control as I talk to my desk. Alright, so that didn't. So we'll ink up there so we can get this one a little bit lighter. Hey Mandy, I'm glad you are able to join, and yeah, Trisha, you've got to play with the stamp set. I completely agree. It's cute. Oh no, I touched something with the corner and I found it. Alright. Inked it up a little bit there. Let's see if we can cover it up. I am finding that lately I have been a very messy stamper. Like, I was making cards for a swap and ended up like pink and blue. I looked at my hands and it's just like, I do not have rare skin disease. I just make cards. I have the same problem when I decorate cakes and I'm doing lots of different colors. It's just, it gets bad. Alright, so this one I will stamp over here. And I'm always scared stamping on the light because if I get ink on my fingers, I get weird spots on my card. Alright, I think, yep, that one will fit right there. So I don't have to ink it again. Alright, so we have a ton of watermelon. I'm going to move this out of my way before I stick my hand in it. Alright, so you'll notice that we have a sentiment here, you're one in a melon. So I'm going to stick that on a block and we'll stamp it in the basic gray because it'll pop up a little bit more. So, alright, so we're just going to ink that up. And you can stamp this wherever you want it. Just find a spot where it fits. It doesn't have to be exact. I'm going to stick it down here. And this would be just a fun, this would be a fun card for a teacher, like a teacher appreciation card. Whether it's like a Sunday school teacher or a school teacher or something like that. Alright, so you can leave your watermelons seedless with your white seeds, or you can grab your Sharpie or your Stampin' Write marker and you can color those in. So I'm going to color in the ones where I did like the full stamp and make some black seeds. Alright, so just for fun, how many people are stamping along with me? And how many people are just watching for kicks? I am cool with whatever answer you have to that question. I will not have my feelings hurt one bit. Alright. Okay, we have yet another card, and it has been 30 minutes. Okay, I want to do one more card because this one is wild and crazy, and then we'll do some tags. I know I said only 30 minutes on cards, but this one is so much fun. It's like a whole fruit basket. And it's the first one. No, it's not the first one because we did the bananas this way. Alright, so what we're going to do, we are going, since I've got my watermelon stuff out, we will go ahead and we will stamp some watermelon first. I left that over there. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. So these blocks are two-sided. So you can be super cool and stamp with both sides. I sometimes, especially if I'm doing like a two-step stamping, I try not to do that because I totally miss. But sometimes I do. So if you signed up for my class in the mail that I did for June, you'll notice that in the video that I had stamps on both sides of my block. Alright, so we're just going to come over here. We're going to stamp us a watermelon. That felt a little loose on my block, but I think we're good now. And then we'll ink it up, and we're going to come over here and stamp this one in the corner. And then I'm going to clean that off because heaven knows I'm going to drop it and get a nice big juicy watermelon where I don't want it. Alright, I know I'm going to use my red again in a minute. Alright, so we're going to ink up the rind and stamp our rind on here. I saw this card in the catalog and I was like, oh my heavens, that is the cutest card ever. And I was a little bit off on that one. You see, like, it's okay. Like, if it really bothers you if you miss, you can just get the Stampin' Write marker and just fill it in a little bit more. You could also try to re-stamp and like try to extend that, but I would mess that up because I am special. Alright, so I don't need this anymore for my cards. And then we're going to do the pineapple, which we haven't played with yet, so we will be using this one again, I promise. On the tags, we're going to stamp him in the Daffodil Delight. I keep forgetting which colors that we're using. I should have written them down because there are a ton. Well, there's 8. I guess that's not a ton. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to come and we're going to stamp us a pineapple down here. I forgot to check to see if this is the right way. It is. Okay. No more upside down cards. And we're going to stamp another pineapple over here. Now I'm just eyeballing it. Alright, I'm going to need that one again in a minute. We're going to get the top of this pineapple and we're going to stamp it in Granny Apple Green. So it feels kind of silly using apple on pineapple, but I guess there's an apple in pineapple, at least the spelling. So it's not as silly as I was originally thinking. Maybe I'm just silly. I think my husband and children would agree. Probably even my brother-in-law and my mother-in-law would agree. So, Trisha, you just taught a card class today too? I know, I'm in her class tomorrow. We're going to be playing with the new triangle set. So, I think I'm going to use that one for a card of the month class. Maybe that will be August. That could be fun. Alright, since I have my yellow out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my banana. I'm trying to get the big fruit out of the way first so that I know where to place my little fruit. So we're going to come and we're going to stamp a banana here-ish. Trying to figure out where I wanted to put that. In my example, I had it spread out a little bit more, but this card's going to be just slightly different. So this one we're going to come and put it on the corner. So we've got a couple of those. So we've got 6 pieces of big fruit on here. We're going to put our little banana top on here. Yikes, I just dropped it on my thumb. All right. So confession time. I loved this set so much that we're going to take some of these ideas from this simple stamping where we're just doing just stamping, and we're going to do what we like to call in our stamping circle, step it up, and we're going to do some wild and crazy stuff with this in our class in the mail for July, and I will be posting pictures of what we're doing here soon. Alright, so I've got this bigger circle so that I can do a grapefruit. I'm going to set my Granny Apple Green to the side because I'm going to pull out my Flirty Flamingo here in a second. So I'm going to stamp some grapefruit in here. We'll just do 3 of them. We'll do 1, 2, 3. And then I think I'm going to be done with my Daffodil Delight. So we'll just go ahead and close that up. And we'll get out the Flirty Flamingo, which is so much fun to say. And put this circle away and pull out our segments for our grapefruit. Now this is going to be fun because I've got to see if I can get it right in the middle of the circle. Alright, so we're going to try to line it up. We're pretty close on that one. I think that one was even closer. 3rd time's a charm, right? I'm going to say that one's pretty near perfect. Alright, then we're going to do some kiwi slices. This just has a ton of colors on it and a lot of different stamps. But it's okay. It just adds to the effect of the card. So we can just call this the fruit basket card as I knock everything over. Anybody else have like super klutz days like I am having? Oh my heavens. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to do one more right here just to kind of break up all that yellow. Wow, I brought the whole card with me. Alright, so we've got some kiwi in there. Now I want to put my sentiment on the card. We're going to do this really long, skinny one. I'm going to line it up. I'm going to put it diagonal so that I feel like I've got a little bit better control on it. And I'm going to pull out my Coastal Cabana because, you know, we need one more color on this card. But it looks so nice, and the different color will kind of help draw it out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it down here in this gap here. So we will ink that up and then come in and stamp I Couldn't Ask for a Sweeter Friend. So this one, if you have a friend that you love that loves pineapple, I have a friend who loves pineapple, then this would be an awesome card. You can just give this card to them with a pineapple, just be like, I was thinking of you and pineapple was on sale. Don't tell them the pineapple was on sale. But that could be super fun. So we've made a whole bunch of cards in 40 minutes. Oh my heavens. Alright, so let's take a gander at these cards again. Leave my examples off to the side. So 4 cards, all super fruity, because fruit is awesome. Alright, so which one is your favorite? I would love to know which card was your favorite while I clean up the card stuff and pull out the tag stuff. Of course, I put my light right on top of my tags. Alright, so we've got a few different tags to choose from. We'll just make a couple of them because I used up all of the time on cards. So these are some examples that I made. See this one? The mustache. So cute. My kids looked at it and they're like, wow, Mom. Yeah, I'm suddenly becoming very uncool. It's okay. We've reached it. We made my daughter squirm the other day because she was very uncomfortable with our conversation. And we felt like we had achieved a new parenting level. We were like high-fiving each other. The bananas are fun. I agree with you, ladies. Alright, so to make your tags, you're going to want to start with a piece of cardstock that is 3 inches by 4 inches. And then this is where that ruler comes in handy, and I have to remember where I set it. It's over here. So what you're going to do is on one of the short sides, you are going to measure, and it works out pretty great. You're going to measure from the corner in to 3/4 of an inch. And then because it's 3 inches, you'll also measure at 2 1/4 inches. And then you're going to turn your card. When you measure it, you're going to use your pencil and just make a dot. And then you're going to turn your card and you're going to measure from the corner. So your dot's here. You're going to measure from this corner down 3/4 of an inch and make another dot. If you are spatially impaired like I am, you will want to use your ruler and draw a line between the 2 dots. Then you'll turn your card and you will measure from the corner down 3/4 of an inch and make a dot, and again draw a line. If you trust yourself to just cut straight between those 2 dots, more power to you. So after you do that, you're going to take your scissors and you are just going to chop this bit off, and then chop this bit off here, and ta-da, you have a tag. So I did color those in black so that we knew those were going to go away. And now I don't have a template. That's alright. Okay, so we're going to do, we've done a lot of watermelon stuff. I'm kind of tired of the watermelons. So here's a cute tag idea. It's just your real red and your shaded spruce. And then I used Gorgeous Grape to stamp Wishing You a Slice of Happiness. So that one's super fun, super simple. I know I have friends who love watermelon, so maybe if you find something watermelon-y, you can attach this, or just, you know, it would make a cute wedding tag too, like as a gift, and just like attach that on there, and you can write a little note on the back. So what we're going to do, I'm going to do this pineapple. Actually, we're going to save the pineapple for last because I want to do something really kooky. So we'll set our pineapples aside, and we're going to do this one. So we're still going to use the same colors. Okay, cool. I've got a blank tag. So this one you're going to use, it'll be like lemon and lime slices, which are super groovy, and we'll stick. Okay, I'm going to switch these around. They'll fit better. And then I want my smile. Alright, so when I made this one, I realized I had made a critical error in my judgments. I'm going to stamp where it says smile. I'm going to stamp that first because I stamped my circles first last time and they got way too close together, and that was problematic. Alright, so I'm going to ink up my smile. That was kind of fun to say. Alright, and then we are going to stamp kind of like right in the middle of the card. So you've got a smile. And then we're going to shuffle over just a little bit and stamp. Oh. So paper has 2 sides, or I have an extra. I'm going to have to stand up so I can see. Alright, so we're stamping right in the middle. And then we're going to come over and we're going to stamp it again. I'm still off, but that's alright. It adds character. We're close enough. And then I'm done with my Coastal Cabana. And sure, let's do our Granny Apple Green first. So we'll do our lime slices. So we're going to stamp kind of like right in the middle, right above a smile. And then we're going to stamp a triangle. Get some green going on there. Since we're eyeballing it, we're just reaching out. So I'm going to clean that off, and then I'm going to do the same thing but with my Daffodil Delight. We're going to stamp just like a reverse of that triangle that we just did. So we've got 6 rings. Some of them are closer than others. If I was making this like to mass produce, I would use my Stamparatus. Just because I know that I am a super klutz. But it's alright, that's why people love me. Alright, okay, so we're going to ink it up and then stamp off so that our insides are a little bit lighter than our outsides. That sounds really weird. The things that I say when I'm stamping, I'm sometimes like it's a puzzlement. Ooh, that one I got almost right in the middle. That's awesome. That one not so much. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing with our green. Just remember to clean your ink pad. That's what I do when I reach over here as I'm cleaning. Clean your ink pad. Clean your stamp. Oh my heavens. So today was an interesting day at work. We have been trying to move on and stuff from one of our teammates passing away, and today I had to finish clearing out all of his stuff from our queue, and so it was a long, hard day for me. I had to take a break after, so I'm still very much distracted by all of that. Alright, so we have, see, I like the rose here and the smiles here, you know. It's what happens when you stamp. Oh, Melanie, you're having problems staying on? That stinks. Well, hopefully you don't get kicked out again. Alright, so we are going to do this one because it combines a whole bunch of fun techniques. And I already have all those ink pads open. So what we are going to do, we need a whole bunch of colors. I'm going to arrange these in the order I'm going to use them. I gotta slide some stuff out of the way. This is going to get interesting fast. Alright, so I love how the ink pads were redesigned a couple years ago so that we can see what color is what when we're looking down at it, because sometimes the inks look a little bit similar. Alright, so let's line all that up. I'm going to pull out a new tag, and we are going to be jumping between our kiwi looking fruit and the inside segment part so that I can line everything up the way I want it. I'm going to start on the bottom and work my way up. So we're going to start with blue, and I'm going to stamp kind of as much in the middle as I can get it. And then we're just going to, well, that one went there because that's where my stamps touch down. Alright, so we're just going to stamp 5 segments here. And this is going to set the tone for where everything else goes. Alright, so then we're going to do this little kiwi circle next. And we're going to try to stamp right in between the images that we've already stamped. So it'll end up with 4. So we've got 1, 2, 3, I'm going all over the place, and 4. Clean that off. Then we're going to do our segments again. And we're going to, I like to start in the middle because then I can kind of space out where I'm going. So we've got our 3rd row, which is our yellow, and then we're going to do some pink. And we're going to do just like we did with the green. We're going to stamp in between. So if you really want to go crazy, you can make like a rainbow. My daughter really liked that one when I did that. Alright, so I've got all of those. Move that a little bit out of the way. And this is going to be, I'm not going to say tricky, but it's going to be fun. Alright, so we need our smile, and then, oh, I just dropped my smile on the floor. Okay, we're going to roll with this. Alright. I actually really do need that smile stamp. I found it. That was fun. Alright, any bets on what I drop next? Okay, so, oh, let's see if I can get back in here. So I'm like trapped in between lamps, just so that I have lighting, because the lighting in my house stinks. Alright, so we are taking this really long sentiment, but we only want the word friend. So what we're going to do is we are going to just ink up a little bit and ink on that side where it says friend. Yeah, set that up there so I don't drop it again. And then we're going to stamp here. So if you only ink up that word, that's all you're going to get for your image. And then we'll ink up our smile. We're going to line this up. So now it says smile friend. So that is how you would kind of like mix and match your sentiments. It's kind of tricky, but it's kind of easy too. So that is that one. Alright, we've got 10 minutes. I didn't want to go more than an hour. And I know I'm throwing a ton of ideas at you. So we're going to close up the Coastal Cabana and the Flirty Flamingo, and we are going to end on a funny note. At first it's not going to seem very funny, but you'll see what happens when we get there. Alright, so I'm using my Granny Apple Green, my Daffodil Delight, and my Basic Gray. And we are going to make this tag here. I'm going, alright, so since I already have this out, oh my, okay, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment at the bottom of the card in Basic Gray. So I couldn't ask for a sweeter friend. Like, not only is the fruit cute, but the sentiments in the stamps that are just so encouraging. I love it. Alright, move some of this out of the way, and then I'm going to get my pineapple, and then I'm sticking my leaves up on another block. Alright, we're going to ink up that pineapple and stamp them like right in the middle of here. I thought this would make a cute card too, so I'm going to stamp 2 at once. And we're going to just put that there. Then we're going to stamp our leaves. Grab that sentiment again. Yeah, I was thinking about this while I was working today, and I was thinking this would be the cutest card instead of just a tag. Like, you could even do the tag to put on a gift or a gift bag. I had that crooked. And then do the card inside. Alright, so here is where we're going to get silly. Are you ready for it? I'm going to move this ink out of the way so that we have nothing to distract us from our silliness. Alright, if you're stamping along, you are going to need your black marker. Oh, I almost forgot. We're going to stamp a face. Since I'm being silly, we're going to go with the mustache. We're going to give this guy a face. It was cute as it was, so if you just want to stay cute, don't do it. But if you feel like being silly with me, we're going to do this. Alright. You ready for this? We are going to draw an arm and a hand and color that in. And we're going to draw another arm and a hand and color it in. And now we're trendy, like those cute fruit and things and trash cans and stuff on all those fun YouTube videos from the people who have way too much time on their hands. We're going to put hands here. I am not an artist. If it wasn't for stamps, nothing creative would come out of this house. Well, that's not true. My kids are super creative. And there we have it. Our silly fruit. All right. Thank you everyone for joining me for this simple stamping class. Watch for my announcement with dates and everything for my next class in the mail. We will be using the stamp set again because it's too much fun to not use twice. So if you have questions, please let me know and I will answer them. I'll be checking messages throughout the evening and all day tomorrow. If you haven't ordered the set yet and you decide that you need it because now you have to make these cute fruit with the hands and the mustaches, make sure you go to my website and don't forget to use the June host code so that we can apply it to this month's partying. And I can't wait to see what you create. This was a fun set and I am seeing so many fun ideas, and we will see you guys next time. Bye!